You're going to have to trust them with this. It is better with the gamepad. Howdy, and welcome to Outer Wilds. So if you didn't see my other video about this, I think this is one of the greatest games ever created, and I think you need to play it. I think everyone on Earth needs to play this video game. It's insanely good. So the purpose of this video is I want you to play this for yourself. So if at some point during this video you go, this game, it looks so spicy, I want to play it for myself, just close the video and go get it and play it for yourself, because that's really the purpose of this video. And if this video convinces even one person to play the video game, I'll consider it a success. So I'm going to mention that it was a BAFTA award-winning video game, best video game. So if that doesn't convince you, but this video does, thank you, I guess, for thinking my opinion matters more than a BAFTA, I guess. That's not important. Let's jump into the Outer Wilds with a new expedition into Outer Wilds. So like all good video games, you begin by waking up, looking up at the stars. You can see a planet. We can see something, I guess, exploding near the planet, launching something blue off. But that's not important, because that's not why we're here. We're not here for explosions. We're here for the stars. For that, I guess the planet, which isn't a star, but they look like stars when they're really far away sometimes. But here we are, just camping with our little sleeping bag, campfire. You got a friend, because you always want to bring a friend when you're camping. Otherwise, you'll be lonely, and you don't want to be lonely, even though we're about to go into the depths of space and being lonely. And also, we're going to not talk to any of our friends. Not that I don't think it's important. It is very important to talk to your friends, because if this area, the village that you start off in on your home planet, it's the tutorial, to put it, like, if I was going to put it as bleakly and plainly as possible, it's the tutorial. You come here, you're going to learn game mechanics, you're going to learn about the setting, the world that you're in. You meet a lot of friends with fun dialogue. I really enjoy the dialogue in this game. It's very nice. It's just an important thing to just come and talk to all your friends, learn about what's up. Like this friend right here, they make instruments, and that's important. Instruments and music is very important in this game. You don't have to know how to play music for real, though. I have no sense for it, but music is important. But you don't have to know how to do a music. You just have to know how to enjoy a music and how to search for the soul of the song. Not that that's actually that's just me waxing poetic. But it is important that you talk to everyone here so you can learn things about the world, the setting, game mechanics. Like, come and talk to these children, and you'll play a fun game of hide and seek where you learn how to use the signal scope. It's not a gun. You use it to find sounds. So you can lock onto a sound. You can hear the sound, even though, that's on the moon 700 meters away, but you can hear it, and lets you kind of like pinpoint where audio might be coming from, which will be an important thing. That's the soul of the song. That's that entire like strange waxing poetic thing I was saying that's what it was about. It's just this game has a very good soundtrack. I enjoy it a whole lot, and you're going to be that whistling that you just heard coming from the moon. That's going to plague you for the rest of your life in a good way. You'll just start whistling. And I'm not a whistler. Do not do whistling. But I have whistled a whole lot of that theme, the Outer Wilds theme, this year. You come here, you see a child throwing rocks, exploding into gas. Maybe something else happened there. Who knows? You could talk to the child and find out, but we're not going to. The Zero-G Cave, you can go in there, and you can learn how to interact, how to platform in Zero-G, which, as you would imagine, in a space game. Oh, this is a space game, by the way. We're going to space. It would be an important thing to learn. So you can go in there and you can kind of learn the 3D controls of the video game. There's a friend actually down here who we passed on our way into the village who had a model ship. If you play around with it, you can kind of learn the controls for the ship. Not to talk smack about our friend down there with the model ship, but I don't really think that's a great way to learn how to control the ship. The controls are the same, but due to the difference in camera, because, when you're piloting a model ship, you're looking at it straight on, it's just what your eyes can see. When you're in the ship, you got a little bit of a different viewpoint. So the best way to learn how to fly a ship is just to fly a ship, baby. So we'll do that in a moment. What we're doing right now is we're coming to the observatory so we can get the launch code so we can actually launch the ship. This friend here is percolating on this mysterious statue, trying to figure out the mysteries and multitudes it contains. Good luck, friend. Coming in here into the observatory, we can see pictures of other Harthians, the species we are. As you can see, they have the normal amount of eyes, 4 elf-like ears, and that's just what we look like. We're one of them. We're a Harthian. We're the only living race in the planet on these planets, solar system. We'll talk about that in a moment. We can see a flag for the Outer Wild Ventures planted, I assume, on the Adel Rock. I believe you can find it there. And when you enter the middle of the observatory, there's a bit of a museum in here, and you can come and check out the exhibits. And we're just going to take a quick glance at them so I can kind of explain more about what this game's about. So this game is a 3D platformer space archaeology game. It's an archaeology game in that the point of the game is you're going to go around and be deciphering the remnants of the previous society that existed before us, the Nomai. So we have this translator, we can find their writing, we can translate it, and we can learn about things from them, which is important. That's kind of the bread and butter of the game. There is more to it than just finding writings. We'll find like audio logs, stuff like that, and the audio logs don't actually have audio, so in world it's like supposed to be audio, but it is just being like you read it. Here we can find some Nomai pottery, which you'll be seeing a lot of this pot. It's not like it's terribly important, but you can see this kind of diamond pattern on here. It is a running motif with the Nomai. They like diamonds, so you'll be seeing like you see this diamond stuff. You're like, oh, Nomai are about. But they're not really about, because like I said, they were the society who existed before us. They're not really around anymore, and these are the bones of a long-dead Nomai, so a rip to the Nomai. But luckily for us, the Nomai did leave runes and technology around. This is a piece of Nomai technology that we Hearthians have used to advance our own technology. This one specifically. This is a bit of a different thing. It's pretty self-explanatory once you find one in the Outer Wilds and have to use it. This here is an interesting rock that, like, creates its own gravitational force, which allows you to do crazy things like walk on walls. Whoa. We can come over here and we can see some pictures. I was going to say taken from space, but this one, I guess taken in orbit or at least above. But this is of our planet. This is the planet we're currently on. There's some Nomai runes, and over here we can see another planet out in the solar system. I believe this is the Ember Twin. We'll talk about planets in a moment. And here we can actually see a Nomai ship. Because, you know, the Nomai were spacefarers as well. Over here, we can see a little cute little baby anglerfish. You're going to love these anglerfish. They're good friends. And you can come over here. You can see the life cycle of a star, which is, you know, it's an important thing to know. You come over here. You can learn about gravity and its mystery. So this is a completely flat table with walls, and there's balls in it. You may see the balls are slightly shifting around. Nothing too interesting, but if we just sit here and wait, eventually the balls will start to move a bit more. And the idea here is like, despite being a completely flat plane, the balls are being acted on by gravity by the moon, and they're not really doing it. So we'll come back. You'll see them moving. Over here, we can see the planet that we saw in the sky when we woke up, and the thing that we saw, I guess, explode. So rip to whatever that is. You move yet, balls? These balls aren't really doing much. We can come out here. There's a strange rock. It's pretty strange. Kind of weird. Yeah, see, they're starting to move because they're being acted on by gravity from the Addle Rock, which is our planet's moon. Our planet being Timber Earth, not Earth. This isn't Earth, as you can tell. Humans not around in this one, which is important. You don't humans. We're not space people. The Hearthians, though, they space people. And this is Hornfels, the person who will give us the launch codes for our ship. And this is actually the reason you want to come to the observatory, because you have to get the launch codes for your ship. Before we talk to Hornfels, let's learn about the mysteries of the universe. And by the mysteries of the universe, I mean, what's in our universe? So Timber Hearth, that's our home planet. You are here, but we're not interested in that. Well, we are, but we're going to start from the center. So this is the sun. It's a standard yellow star. I don't really have to tell you much about that. We have one of those. If you are unaware of the sun, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, we've all been inside, so maybe you've forgotten about it. But the sun, it's a bright, hot thing in the sky. Its job is to be bright and hot. It's very good. So these are the Hourglass Twins. They are the planets closest to the sun, and they are binary desert planets. So they orbit each other as well as orbiting the sun. So all the planets and some other things orbit the sun. But these planets, in addition to orbiting the sun, orbit each other. It's very interesting. Timber Hearth is our starting planet. You can imagine it being kind of an analog to our Earth. It's very, foresty, a lot of plains. There's not really an ocean on it, but there is a lot of water, waterfalls. They're big geysers. The size of mountain. I put the plural in the wrong spot there. But yeah, it's a nice little place. This is where we live. This is where we were born. This might not be where we die, though. The Addle Rock. This is our moon. It's a natural satellite. It's going around our planet. It's a moon. We got one of those too. If you don't know about the moon, there's not much I can help you with. I'm sorry. So this is Brittle Hollow, next planet away from the sun, and this planet's where it starts to get interesting. I mean, we have binary planets orbiting each other. That's already interesting. But we took a snooze fest at Timberhearth. We get Timberhearth. It's not a boring planet. I'm sorry, Timberhearth. We love the Timberhearth. But Brittle Hollow is a very interesting planet in that it is a barren, or the surface of the planet is barren and rocky, and it is being constantly pelted with fireballs from its moon, Hollow's Lantern, which is a volcanic like little magma angry boy just spitting fire down at the surface. Very rude of the Hollow's Lantern spitting on the Brittle Hollow. Over here, we can see the Giant Steep, the planet that we saw first thing in the sky when we woke up, and we can see that thing that exploded. As you can see, it's a little like it's broken and cracked up as opposed to the picture we just saw. So Giant Steep is a gas giant planet filled with a very dense liquid. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be water or not, though we can just say dense liquid. But it is dense. It's a liquid. This is what it is. But it isn't just like a big ocean. It is just a big ocean planet. But there are a couple islands on there, so you can go explore the islands. You can explore the Scary Ocean. Also, the Scary Ocean, filled with giant cyclones. It's a scary place to be, the Giant Steep. Before we go on to the last planet, we can, just because I saw it first, this is the Interloper. It's not a planet. It's a comet. You can see its elliptical orbit with the sun. Cutting it a little close there, but the Interloper, it's doing what it does. It's interloping, just going around, and it's weird egg shape instead of the normal circular of the other planets. It's a bit of a rebel in that way. And here we have the last planet, asterisk, because it's not really a planet anymore. The Dark Bramble is a dead planet. It used to be an ice planet, but at some point it broke apart, and there is this plant that is holding it together, the titular Dark Bramble. The previously living planet, if you call planet, back when it was a planet. I'm not sure about its name. I couldn't find its name in any source. I'm not sure if it's tucked away somewhere here in the game, but used to be an ice planet, but it's gone now. All hail the Dark Bramble. The entire solar system we have to work with. This game is very interesting in how it's designed, and that you can do whatever you want. This game is not limiting you by like mechanics and like skill, like, I have to unlock this to do this. There are only 2 skills you ever unlock in this game, and they're both just quality of life things. It's not like, no, I got this, I can open the door here. Everything is knowledge driven. So technically, if you knew all of the secrets of the universe, you could technically like complete this game like immediately, like just go straight to the end. But that's not the spirit of the game. The spirit of the game is acquiring knowledge, going to all these planets and learning. And maybe that's like, maybe you're hearing that and you're like, that sounds like some nerd stuff. But this game is so intriguing. Like I cannot tell you just like how like quickly I was enamored by this game, and just it just drew me in a way that I could not believe how endeared I was to this game. Here we can get a little bit of a better look at a Hearthian. You can see we're blue, 4 eyes, the normal amount of eyes, kind of like a cute little like cat nose. It's not really like a cat nose, but the shape of it's kind of cat-like, but it isn't like that paw pad leathery texture. But you know what I mean. Kind of like elf ears. 3 fingers, the normal amount of fingers. So Hornfels here runs the observatory. Being like the base person who like keeps in contact with the travelers. We saw a picture of other fellow astronauts. So Hornfels keeps in contact with them the best that Hornfels can. So we are a brand new astronaut. This is going to be our first time coming to space, which is why we had to go to Hornfels, get the launch codes for our ship, so we can go out into space, because we're brand new. We're a brand new baby astronaut, and it's very exciting for us to go to space. And we're the first ever astronaut equipped with the Nomai translator tool. So we'll be able to go around and translate the Nomai writing that we find. No other Hearthian has ever been able to do that. And we're not just some fly-by-night scientist, because we're as an astronaut, you fly into the night of space. We apparently helped in the development of the Nomai translation tool. So we're also a scientist as well as an astronaut. So this is a smart little menu that I really enjoy, where like, tell me, what's your plan once you're in space? It kind of points you in like directions you can go. Like you pick like the one that sounds the most interesting, and then Hornfels will give you like some dialogue, like, oh yeah. If you're interested in that, you should go here, and kind of give you some guidance. Hornfels, a lot of these will like point you to like maybe stopping at the Addle Rock before you go on out to like checking out other planets, because the moon is right there. It's an easy target, easy pit stop to make for your first trip. But there's a lot of neat things, and even if like you pick one, like you can kind of get like the idea of like big checklists in your mind like starting to appear for like what you should be interested in. Like I'm going to learn more about the Nomai, so it's like, okay, the Nomai is important, so I should be on the lookout for the runes and their writings. I'm going to meet up with the other travelers. So yeah, keep an eye out for fellow astronauts out in space. There are 5 travelers. There's Chert on the Hourglass Twins. Specifically on the Ember Twin. I didn't say the name of the specific planets in the Hourglass Twins, but there's the Ember Twin and the Ash Twin. I believe Chert's on the Ember Twin. Esker, who's on the Addle Rock, not a planet, but our moon, so you can go and check out Esker there. Rybeck, who is on Brittle Hollow. I always want to say Brittle's Hollow, which is incorrect. And we're actually going to be going to the Brittle Hollow, so perhaps we'll talk to Rybeck while we're there. Gabbro on Giant's Deep, and Feldspar, who went missing some time ago, and no one's heard from Feldspar. And everybody's very worried, especially Hornfels here. Hornfels is very, very worried about Feldspar and wishes they knew where Feldspar was. So going and meeting up with the travelers. This personally was what, when I saw this menu, this is what interested me the second I saw it. Like, yeah, I want to go meet up with other travelers. That sounds like a good first thing to do. And meeting up with a traveler is going to be the first thing you're going to want to like gun for when you hit a planet, because they'll give you important information, and it's nice. I want to go somewhere no one's gone before. Yeah, you want to keep on the eye out for places that people haven't explored. I'm not sure specifically what dialogue Hornfels will give you for this, but I think they'll point you towards the Dark Bramble, because the Dark Bramble, I believe, is, as far as everyone knows, unexplored by Hearthians. So be somewhere no one's ever gone before. I'll start with something small. I believe this one points you towards the Addle Rock. I don't know. This one also points you toward the Addle Rock, but of course our answer is I'm gonna wing it, because Hearthians are very naturally curious. So we'll figure it out as we go out. We'll go and just poke around at what interests us, which is the way I recommend playing this game. Find something that interests you and just follow the breadcrumbs, and you'll have a blast. It's a great little time, and it's also very funny. The Hearthians are like very naturally curious. It's fun to see dialogue where people be like, oh, they did this really dumb, dangerous thing in the name of curiosity. And it's very funny just how many like pieces of dialogue there is like that. But yep, we're ready to get off this rock. Are we ready to die in space? Well, we're ready to get off this rock. We're not going to die in space. I said I was ready to die in space when I played this the first game, because I thought it'd be very funny. And you know what? It was. So when you play this game, you can tell Hornfels you're ready to die in space, and you can get that good dialogue that I am depriving you of. Balls didn't really move, but you saw them move a little bit on our way out. Unfortunately for our friend, who was very interested in uncovering the mysteries and multitudes of the statue, they're nowhere to be found when the statue turns and opens its glowing eyes and seemingly shows us a vision of our recent memories. Rip to our poor friend who didn't get to see this thing that they were very, very interested in us. And because I guess, they had to come out here, and you took a break at the wrong time, my friend, all to whittle a stick. Because as you can see, the Hearthians timber hearth, there's a lot of trees. There's a lot of wood. They use wood for everything. Did you get a good look at the Nomai statue? I think it got a good look at me, actually. The statue was glowing. Why was it glowing? Whoa, the statue was doing what? So its eyes opened, and then you saw images from your own memories and glowing lights around? You mean like a hallucination? Listen, no offense, but are you sure you're okay to launch? Like, medically speaking? No, the statue's definitely weird. I mean, if you're saying it happened, then I guess maybe it did, but why? And yeah, Hornfels tried everything with the statue. Apparently Gabbro, the traveler who was on Giant's Deep, was the one who found it on Giant's Deep on one of the islands there. So if you're interested in learning more about the statue that just seemingly moved, glowed its eyes, showed us visions of our memories, you want to go check out Gabbro. Gabbro's a good friend. I'm not sure if I would recommend going there first, but I can't really recommend anything. This game is really well designed, and that you can come at this game from any angle, and the way the mystery kind of like unravels of the universe seems to, like, regardless of like what you're interested in, like the thing that personally interested me ended up being like one of the like late game areas. Like, I mean, you can do anything at any time, but like one of the like late game things, it was there, and that was one of the first things I went and looked at. And still, like, yeah, it wasn't like, oh, well, now I know everything because I went to the final place first. We come in here, and this is an important thing to do when you enter your ship, is to suit up. I did not notice the suit when I first started playing this game, so I went out to space, went to my first planet, stepped out on my ship, and suffocated to death. So we can see here a demonstration of the Little Scout. See beyond the horizon, illuminate dark areas, detect hazards, test the environment. So what is the Little Scout? The Little Scout is our friend. So if you remember that piece of technology that we saw in the... let's not stare at the sun. That's not a good idea to do that. You remember that piece of technology we saw, the Nomai technology, and the in the observatory? We adapted it into this. It's a scout that can take pictures in front of it, behind it, and you can just launch it off with this little like pneumatic blaster thing, and you can retrieve it by holding it, and it warps back, which is part of like the Nomai technology. It's very neat and a very useful tool. You're gonna want to use it. It's very, very good. Your ship. Oh, something fun about the ship. You can see one of those anti-grav rocks. Also the engine for the ship, which is why, regardless of like where you are, what direction the ship is facing, this will always be, you'll always be oriented towards the ground because of that anti-grav rock. Unless it breaks, the ship can take damage and you have to do a little bit of repair. But just take a look at the ship. Do you think the ship made mostly out of wood? Like there's some metal. See, there's some metal. It's not gonna break. You get in here and it's wood, but it's got some metal on the outside. It's perfectly safe. So this is a useful thing, the ship's log. You can come in here and you can view which planets you've been on, which ones you've seen. So like we've seen the Adel Rock and we've seen Giant's Deep, so they're there, but we don't really know anything about them. We haven't stepped foot on them, so they're not colored in. Timberhearth, however, is colored in. There's also the rumor mode you can enter, which is very useful for just keeping track of like what you've learned, and helps you kind of point towards your goals and stuff. So like if you take a break from playing the game for a while or whatever, you can come in here and like, oh, what was I doing? Or if you run out of leads, you can come in here and like check like, oh yeah, I forgot about that lead. It's a very useful thing. And also like, we'll talk about that in a moment. It's not that's what I was about to say. Not all that important. What is important is getting off this rock. Let's lift off, baby. And here we are. For the first time, we've broken through the atmosphere of our planet. Yep, there it is. Timberhearth, that's where we were the entire time we were alive. There's the Adel Rock. You could go to the Adel Rock, but personally, we're gonna go to Brittle Hollow. That's what I decided would be an interesting thing to do for this playthrough. Or not really a playthrough, but just for this video. You know, I thought it'd be neat to go to the Adel Rock. In autopilot. Autopilot's a very convenient thing just so you don't have to like point straight at the planet and then do all the stuff with like slowing your trajectory so you don't just slam straight into the planet. Very important thing to... It's a useful thing. You can turn it off if you're not interested in it. And also, do not trust the autopilot. Keep an eye on the autopilot. When I first started playing this game, I was like, okay, I'm going to autopilot to an island. It's going to be great. Oh, also, you can match things velocity. So if you just want to like chill, you can match the velocity. And here, we'll just chill with the Brittle Hollow. It's a thing you can do. It's very useful. The autopilot, however, don't trust it. Because where's our good friend, the sun? Good friend, the sun. At one point, I tried to navigate to a planet, and it didn't go all that well because I was like, okay, I'm gonna get in my ship, autopilot there, and then I looked up, I'm like, oh my god, I'm driving straight into the sun because autopilot just takes the shortest distance it can. Where'd the planet? I lost to a planet we were going to. Oh, see, we drifted a bit away from it. As I don't trust the autopilot. It is a useful tool, but just keep an eye on it because it will kill you. The autopilot wants you dead. And as you can see here, the Hollow's lantern, you can see some kind of fireballs floating around because it is a volcanic little moon who hates its planet, and it's just constantly barraging it with fireballs. It's a very mean moon. Oh, here we go. You can see a bit of a fire taken off, and I kind of wanted to do a little like lap around the planet so we can take a look at some things. Like here, you can see another one of those Nomai ships. I should probably start landing the ship instead of just blasting around, but I've kind of gotten a strange bit of momentum. So something about this game, like I had mentioned, this game's a 3D platformer, so learning how to control yourself in space, very important. I got pretty good at controlling myself in space. I never got terribly good at controlling the ship, however. And there's the platforming never gets like too terribly tricky, but I've done some terrible, dumb things and smashed my ship into things just because I was not being very smart. So you want to get good at piloting the ship. At least get better at me than piloting the ship. We can come around. We can. Oh, that scared me when it popped off. Which is actually something I'll talk about in a moment. There's a specific point I'm looking for because the Brittles Hollow is an interesting planet. No, there it is. I was looking for that smoke. Because as you can see, there's a few structures on the surface, but structures on the surface of Brittles Hollow don't really work. Because as you can see by these little homes, got stuck on that. By these little homes here, you can kind of see that they not gonna last very long. Whenever there's a I think I'm planted on a tree. Please get off the tree. We might leave our ship on a tree. We don't want to leave our ship on a tree. That could make it very difficult to get back into the ship later. Here we go. Landed. Perfect. That's definitely how you're supposed to land the ship. There's actually like you can come in here, and when you buckle up, there's a camera you can use that like is underneath that like landing camera, so you can like check. Not exactly how you want to land your ship, but if you ever smack your ship into a lot of stuff and it gets broken, you can just start repairing it. Danger, a ghost matter detected nearby. I guess we can look around for the ghost matter. Oh, someone was here recently, and this was the fire that we saw. Probably at Rybeck, when they were exploring, probably came to this little village. Okay, here we go. These little rocks. When you see these rocks, you'll know ghost matter is nearby. You might remember that child that we saw in the village throwing rocks, and the rock seemingly exploding into nothing. That was not the rock exploding. The rock was hitting ghost matter, which is a dangerous, harmful like substance, and it's invisible. But if it shoots you, it's gonna hurt. And those rocks are a good like indicator that it's there. But there's actually, if you pull out your scout and you can just take a photo, you don't have to launch it. You can kind of see like that kind of glowing aurora. So that's another way you can like detect for ghost matter. Your suit will be like, hey, ghost matter close by. But if you want to be even more like careful, you can check around, and we can see some more bones from assumedly a nomai. Not really a lot of other bones and creatures around that you'll see. We can see one of those anti-grav rocks, and we're now going to walk down this sheer wall into the inside of the Brittle Hollow. So the Brittle Hollow is interesting because since it is hollow, there's structures and a society in here. So you can't really live on the surface because it's getting pelted with fireballs. It's barren. I mean, I guess there were a few trees out there, but there's not really much out there. So a lot of the stuff is inside. Like we can see a structure over there. We can see some stuff falling because as the surface gets pelted with fireballs, the planet actually collapses and the surface falls into the inside of the planet. Let's go ahead and translate this. Gravity Crystal Workshop. So the place that we just came from just above was the Gravity Crystal Workshop. And this little sign is very helpful, but also very delightful. It's so good. I love just the way it like falls apart when you like smack into it and then coming back together. It's very satisfying. I didn't really talk about the suit, but you've probably seen me using a jetpack. So the jetpack is kind of like it's a platformer, like I said. You're going to be doing a lot of cool jetpack stunts. You can see fuel. You'll exhaust fuel as you go. As you can see, like that 100% meter, you have like a little bit of like an immediate amount. You have the total fuel, but then you have like what's usable to you and the immediate. Like as soon as you hit the ground, it starts recharging really quickly, but otherwise it's recharging slowly. So you kind of have to be careful with your jetpack usage. You can't just blast off. You could potentially blast off into space and get out there, and it'd be neat and fun. But you want to be careful with that. There's a gravity cannon 400 meters east. That sounds like fun. Let's go check out a gravity cannon. That sounds like a blast. We can probably assume that thing over there is the gravity cannon. That's about 400 meters east, I would say. Here's some Nomai technology. Nomai technology. A lot of things with like these balls that you like interact with. We come over here, and we can step into this tractor beam. You'll always be able to know which side of a tractor beam it is because, like, as you see here when we get to the top, and oh no, it's blocked off for whatever. Oh, it's blocked off because this actually led us to somewhere else. I thought that was going to be a blocked off place because there's some entryways in the Brittle Hollow that are blocked off because of just shifting landscape over time. But as you can see, at the top of the tractor beam, it's square. So that means like, oh, you can't go that way. Whereas if it's squiggly like this, that means if you jump into it, it'll take you to the other end. And square means that's the end of the tractor beam. So if we come over here, we can see where there used to be bridges that fell apart. So we can just blast off and come over here, and this will take us over to the gravity cannon eventually. You can also see over there, in addition to our fuel, we also have O2, because we have the oxygen that we're breathing. If you ever run out of fuel, you can use your oxygen as a propellant, which isn't very useful. Like, you can't like jetpack as well, but you can, if you're like in space or 0G, you could potentially, shimmy yourself a bit. But you can't use fuel as oxygen, which there was a bunch of times I was playing this game, I was like, it's dumb you can't use the fuel as oxygen. And then I was like, no, it's not dumb. It's smart. That's not, you can't huff fuel the same way you would oxygen. Goodbye, part of the planet. So we can see over there the gravity cannon. I went the wrong way. We're starting to get a little bit low on oxygen. Oxygen you can refill. If you ever see trees, you go up to them and you can immediately refill your oxygen tank just by the presence of trees, which is very useful. Our ship has a couple plants in there, so we can refuel there. Refuel our oxygen there. You can also refuel your fuel. And if you were to get harmed for any reason, there's also a station to do some first aid on yourself. It's in the same place where you fuel up. It happens all at once. It's convenient like that. So we've made it to the gravity cannon. And here we go. We have a gravity cannon. We don't really have anything to launch, however. So perhaps we should go back to our ship and bring our ship back to the gravity cannon, so we'll have something to launch out of it. The Southern Observatory, we could go that way, but I am getting a little concerned with our oxygen, so we should probably make our way back to our ship before, we croak. Also, we don't really see... Oh, here we go. I was like, we don't really see anything that we could use to interact with the gravity cannon, but we can come over here, and I bet these writings will... 3 minutes of oxygen remaining. Activate the gravity cannon. What's this one? Call the shuttle home. Well, let's activate the gravity cannon. See what happens if nothing's in there. Gotta, move the ball. Ship log was updated. They've probably just been like, I activated the gravity cannon. Let's call the ship home. See what happens when we do that. We do that. Warp happened and a ship appeared. We can probably assume that this is a Nomai ship of some sort, but we're not really interested in that at the moment. Let's just go ahead and set it off. Goodbye. Now let's start thinking about getting us some oxygen, because breathing, important thing to do. If you don't breathe, you don't live. That's just game mechanics. I'm sorry. You can't argue with the game mechanics. It's just how the game works. If you're not breathing, you're not living. And you will need to continue living to continue playing the game. We can come up here, and this will probably take us to the surface if I had to guess. Yeah, we come up here. Oh, no, this isn't the surface at all. Oh, I guess it kind of is due to the cracks here. We're technically, oh, trees. We found trees, so we don't actually need to go back to our ship. That's nice. Come in here, we can see a symbol of a planet. The way it's cracked, you can probably assume that it is the Brittle Hollow, and a little entry point. Come over here, we can see some of the Nomai design pottery. We can see rest in peace Nomai, some kind of strange staff with Tetris blocks on it. Some more Tetrises over here. Tetraminos. They're not called Tetrises. They should be called Tetrises, but they're called Tetraminos. I can't change that. That's just the way it is. Pick up the Brittle Hollow Projection Stone. So this stone, come over here, we can insert it into this thing. We twist, and we're now seeing somewhere else in the Brittle Hollow. Very interesting. If we just walk away, we break the projection, but we can also take the thing out and redo it. So that's interesting. Nomai have technology that can project your what you're seeing elsewhere. We could traverse on foot across the surface of the planet to try and get back to our ship. I don't think that's a terribly good idea. So we're gonna go back the way we came, which is a little boring. Want to be a little careful that we don't have too much velocity when we land, because you can take fall damage. You can die from falling, so you want to be a little careful. We're starting to run a little low on fuel. Our oxygen's good thanks to those trees we found. Oh, that was a small jump. So something interesting about jumping this game, if you just hit the A button, you do this little piddly jump. What you gotta do is you gotta hold the A button. You gotta jump with your entire legs. You can't just and lift off the ground. We're no Super Mario. We don't got those big ups. We gotta really put some effort into it. And luckily, if we miss this jump, it's okay because we're going down there. Except if you look a little too far down. As you saw, there's something down there. The middle of Brittle Hollow has a black hole at its center, which you don't want to fall into a black hole. Falling into a black hole, we currently I don't understand black holes. I personally don't understand black holes. Maybe science understands them a little bit better. In fact, I'm sure science understands. I took a little bit of damage there. You saw the flash. Now our space suit shaped thing is glowing a little red. Oh, also a little mini map. You can kind of see where you explored the poles of the planet. I always forget which one's which. I think red's north, blue's south. I could be wrong about that. I had to Google that at one point. That's one thing. Try and figure out everything you can about this game, but at one point I really desperately needed to know which way the poles were, and I wasn't sure which one was which off the top of my head, and I was like, no, I can't go back to the ship. I'm running out of time. I need to do this. And that was one of the few things I actually Googled about this game. It was like, which colors, which pole, which I'm sure is just a magnet thing that I don't know about. We can come in here and we can find Ryback, the traveler who came to Brittle Hollow. I really love Ryback's design, and Ryback playing the banjo, which has kind of become iconic for this game, makes me feel like Ryback's like the main traveler, which isn't true. The game doesn't like play favorites like that, but the banjo's just so iconic for this game that you see Ryback and you're like, ah yes, this is Outer Wilds. Also, you can see here these cans of jumbo marshmallows, because anytime you see campfire, you can kick back and enjoy a marshmallow, which you wanna toast it. You don't want to just eat a raw marshmallow. That's not the way to enjoy a marshmallow, but you also don't want to light it on fire. That's not really the way you want to enjoy it. I've never been able to toast a marshmallow well in this game. They always catch on fire, and I'm not sure if it's impossible to toast a marshmallow well in this game or what. Not entirely sure. Unidentified signal nearby. Whenever you see that, that means there's a signal, like sound signal. So like we've now learned like, oh, this is Ryback. So now rather than being like, oh, a frequency, we now know this is Ryback. So like if we were to like point at a different planet, the sun just doing its thing. Let's see, here we go. It's like unknown, like someone playing like some kind of flute or something. I never learned the name of the instrument that they play. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to talk to you. Yeah, it's great that we launched. Sorry, but we're not here to talk to you, Ryback. You really should talk to Ryback, because Ryback has important information for you about the stability of the planet and how it's falling apart. But we're not here to talk about that. You can come over here to this fuel to refuel your jetpack, and have a good old time. Yeah, so that's it with Ryback. Ryback has a bit more that they could offer us, but we're gonna get going. We got what we wanted in that we got fuel for our thing, and we oxygen. As you can see, this tractor beam, which previously went somewhere, the section of the planet blew up because of the fireball and fell. And all of the sections of the planet, as you would imagine, are falling into the black hole at the center of the planet, which looks freaky whenever you like the way that they graphically like show black hole like with the warp thing. It's very strange and good, and I love it. It's so interesting. So yeah, the planet's falling apart. So a lot of our exploration opportunities for the planet's probably long gone for us, thanks to it falling apart. But we're not in a hurry. We just got out into space. We're enjoying our time. We're having a good time. So what we want to do, there was the Hanging City, which if I ever learned how to navigate, we could. I never really learned how to navigate a lot of like places, just because I just forget like where's where. We can come and go across these bridges to get to the Hanging City. But as you can see, the bridges have also collapsed. You can make this jump. It's not a hard jump to make. But I don't want to risk falling into a black hole. Not really feeling falling into a black hole right at this moment. I'll tell you what. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to go back to our ship and then try and land our ship in the gravity cannon and fire it off. That sounds like a whole lot of fun. Maybe we'll peek into the Hanging City. Let me get up there. It's not exactly. Nope. You're not really supposed to use the jetpack to get on there. But hey, it's not going to stop you. You can just jetpack up there and then just hope gravity is with you. It's like that famous saying, "May the gravity be with you." That thing that turbo nerds are always saying. And we come back up here to what we've learned is the gravity crystal workshop. So I guess they just are called gravity crystals. So I'm not sure if there's probably writing here that says like what this place is. Like, oh yeah, we tried to put some buildings out here, didn't go well. And you can see Ryback left some marshmallows unfinished in his little canteen. Don't know what he's been drinking here. It's probably water. It's alcohol. It's dehydrates you. Actually, there is one of our friends that we could have talked to in the planet we came from, the Timber Hearth in the starting village, is actually making some brew. And the music's changed suddenly. Oxygen refill. Spot a tree. Walk towards it. Wink. Enjoy. So the music suddenly changed, but we've got a mission here. The mission's to get uncaught from the tree. Let me go, tree. Got a mission to... Sorry, tree. Tree, I wanna go get in a gravity cannon. I have seemed to have gotten very, very stuck. Oh, there we go. I got it. I'm a genius. I got unstuck from the tree. Oh nope! I was holding down the wrong trigger and started propelling myself downwards instead of upwards. The sun, I would say you're not looking too hot, but the sun is always actually, in fact, looking very, very hot. We don't want to get too... Whoops, I've smacked into the planet because I was trying to avoid the black hole and avoid like its pull. But unfortunately, by trying to avoid the black hole, trying to avoid the black hole, I ended up smacking my face. Where's that gravity cannon? I'm not entirely sure. Might not be able to find it. Maybe the gravity cannon's already fallen in because we can see the hanging city. So I guess we'll... No, I'm not going to give up on this gravity cannon. Let's keep looking around. Is that the gravity cannon? No, that's the village we started in. I'm not entirely sure. Entirely sure where the gravity cannon... Oh, the sun not looking good at all. Not a great time for the sun, I'm guessing. But we got a gravity cannon we got to find, so let's just keep looking. We'll worry about the sun when we worry about the sun. I've never had to worry about the sun all that much, aside from when I got a sun... Oh. And just like that, it restarts. So this game has a time loop. I believe the time loop is on a 22-minute timer. Every 22 minutes, the sun goes supernova. Yeah, we have to go get the launch codes from the observatory. But I already got them, didn't I? How did I get back here? Didn't I already lift off? Wait, did I just die or... no, you have a bad dream or something? I want to ask how you got the code, so hurry up and launch before Hornfels decides to ground you for medical reasons. Yep. The game has a time loop. Somehow, we didn't die when we died. We saw the same flash that we saw from the statue in the observatory. So we could probably assume something... Oh, gear options. What's this? Oh, nice. Just the little options for, like... nice little things if you decide you want to set up your thing a little differently. Game's on a time loop. You die every 22 minutes. You can also die by other means, like if you were to make a big fall and hurt yourself real bad, you could die from that. If you were to fly into the sun, anytime you die, you just restart back at the campsite and you do it all over. But you don't have to. For us, like we don't have to go back to the Giant's Deep if we didn't want to. We could come over here. We can explore some, like, what's this crater on our planet? We could go not that way. We already went that way. We could go that way or that way. You can do anything at any order you want. It's great. I adore this game. This game is so, so good. And I just had an absolute blast with it. I didn't really show a lot of, like, the intrigue of the game. I just kind of wanted to poke around and get y'all excited about putting your ship in a gravity cannon. It's great. I guess we can make our way over to the gravity cannon. That could be a nice little thing we could do just to end the video. But a lot of the intrigue comes from interacting with the Nomai writing, where you can learn, like, oh, what were they doing? Why were they doing things? It gives you a lot of, like, answers to the questions you might have, like, who built the moons on the runes? I had to re-record that in that video a whole lot because I kept saying moons on the runes. Who put the runes on the moons? The what's at the heart of Dark Bramble? All these questions can be answered. The Nomai writings are really going to be your best friend at figuring that out. And I'm sorry I didn't really check that out, but I didn't want to do a lot of reading because you're going to be doing a lot of reading in this game, and I didn't want to, like, bore you with me reading things that you're going to go and see for yourself. And there we go. That's a perfect landing. Whenever you land, you can start, like, propulsing down towards the ground, and that will help you a lot of the time. That's not a great place to put our ship. Let's just move the ship just a little bit. The ship is very good at landing. I, however, am not very good at landing the ship. I could always check the view. That helps us, but I don't think to do that a lot because Did I move the ship with the hatch? Oh no, the hatch that must be a visual glitch or something. Yeah, I think this game is absolutely delightful. I had so much fun with it. Honestly, I've been thinking about it all year because I played this at the beginning of this year, and retroactively it became my favorite game in 2019. And I've been thinking about it all year. It's such a good game, and I love it immensely. Now we could warp the oh no I said we could warp the ship, the other shuttle, and see what happens to the way it interacts with our ship, but I think it'd just be more fun to goodbye ship. Maybe you'll make it to Giant's Deep. Maybe you'll slam into the... Oh, no, you're not going to do any of that. You're going to go straight into the sun, huh? I think our ship's going to go straight into the sun. That happens sometimes. Sometimes your sun eats your ship. Oh, no, it looks like it might have made it past the sun. Oh, I guess we could check our map. I don't see our... Oh, there's our ship. It's not that far. Oh, you see, the space is big, you know? I always underestimate how big space is, especially in like this space where it's a little smaller than you'd expect it to be. You know, for convenience of actually piloting between things in under 22 minutes. And for, you know, gameplay not being bored reasons. But yeah, little visual trick of the eye made me think we were just gonna slam right into the sun, but it didn't, because it's the sun very far away. But yeah, that's been our look at Outer Wilds. I hope that this has endeared you to this game. It's so good. This game is so good. I keep thinking about it. It's incredible. So please go play this game. If not for you, for me. And then as you play it, you'll realize it's been for you all along. So this has been Outer Wilds by Mobius Digital. Please play this game.